Okay, you have requested a meeting to discuss the agreement for the fuel facility. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, commissioners, and staff and county staff for having us this morning. With me today is, Stan Jagielski. Did I say that right? Jagielski. This is our fleet maintenance, superintendent. He runs all of the operations out at our fleet maintenance facility. We used to call it the garage, but we've kind of upped the game a little bit because over the last several years, we've provided additional services. And Stan has been in the position about a year.
Coming up on 2.
Coming up on 2. And if you remember before, Dave Nelson was our fleet maintenance superintendent prior to that, and he retired. So with that, we, as part of our working on the budget, Stan and I worked together on identifying areas that either need improvement or some of our equipment that needs to be updated. And one of the things that we did notice is a variety of our equipment is now needing to be replaced. We're struggling a little bit with some of our areas, which Stan can talk a little bit more about that. But what we did is we went back and looked at the joint fuel agreement. We thought, well, we probably need to have a conversation because this agreement's been in place for about 13 years. We did send a letter out last month that talked a little bit about having this conversation. And what we want to be able to do is have a preliminary conversation and then also perhaps looking at renegotiating some of the language. The 2 areas that we would like to talk about, and we don't want action today, it's just more of a introductory conversation because this is a very old agreement. I did bring copies. Anybody would like a copy? Oh, okay. I just brought some copies here because
Sure.
I don't know who's had a chance to look at it.
Here, Brian.
Thank you.
One for you too.
That time for just a minute.
Okay. So just a couple, and then I'm gonna cite a couple pages, and then what I'd like to do, if Stan doesn't have if you're talking a little bit about some of our equipment and some of the requests that he has for our current budget for this fiscal year on some of our operating items. But the area that we want to talk a little bit about and explore over the next several months is on page 5. Page 5. The operation and maintenance of the fuel facility, just some of the language in here we would like to talk about updating. And then also on page 6, section 5, repairs and capital expenditures. Particularly the one that we're concerned about and we want to have a conversation about is on page 7, area 5.2, that talks about any capital expenditure estimated to exceed $5,000. And so what we're happening right now is a lot of the equipment that we need to talk about replacing on the fuel facility side is far over $5,000. So we want to talk a little bit about that. So those are the sections of the agreement we want to talk about. We also want to have a conversation about the agreement currently has a 6 cents per gallon, and that 6 cents has been in place since July of 2010. Right now, our accounting staff is doing an analysis on how much the cost is for that and how much it really costs to provide those administrative support services for that particular area, the agreement. And we'd like to bring back some analysis on that and potentially a proposal of it being a little bit more than 6 cents. Obviously, it would be a negotiated item as per the agreement. So with that, Stan, if you're okay, I wanted you to talk a little bit about some of our operating items that we identified.
Yes, so as some of you may be aware, we have had this fuel system in place for over 10 years now. Yeah, so it was installed in 2011. And the above ground dispensers, so the sheet metal boxes with the counter and the hose and the nozzle, those are starting to wear out. We have one that's just completely broken down. So we have 5 dispensers in total, 3 of which are high-speed diesel dispensers, and both city and county vehicles use the high-speed diesel ones more than any. Some of them have had millions upon millions of gallons pumped through them, and they're just getting to the point where they're wearing out. So I have worked with Leonard Petroleum here in town, and they put together estimates for us to replace the above ground dispensers. And we're also going to reconfigure them a little bit so that there will be more high-speed diesel dispensers available for use. So hopefully going forward, they won't get as much wear as quickly. So that's the more immediate repair that needs to be done to the joint fuel facility at this point. After that, and this next one could be in future years, but there's a pretty complex tank monitoring system that the purpose of it is to monitor the levels of fuel that's in the tanks. It'll monitor, if there's water that finds its way into the tank, it will monitor if there's any leaks. It'll register deliveries, and overall it just keeps a very detailed record in the computer system that is required for us to stay in accordance with DEQ regulations. That system is working okay now, but it is getting dated, and at some point we would like to upgrade that, to a more modern system. So with regard to the fuel facility, those are the two things that we see would need to, they require some attention. One more immediate, and then the other one we have some time on. So do we want to kind of talk about what the project costs are?
Yeah, let's just talk a
Yeah,
little bit
so
about just preliminary.
The 5 above ground dispensers, we have a project cost of $70,000 from Leonard Petroleum. They're wanting to get on this job this month of November, to get those dispensers replaced and get us up and running so that we don't have any further issues through the winter. And then the fuel tank monitoring system, we have an estimated cost of just under $40,000. So is there any questions from anybody that I can help answer?
Saving a lot.
Oh.
Sure.
Okay. So again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to incorporate these in this year's budget for the city, just because what we don't want to do is we don't want to have budget capacity not available and say something breaks down. At least we can go out, make the repair, we've got it budgeted, and then be able to continue to maintain our operations.
This year's budget, so.
Right. We have it in our budget though, for this year. We had to, what we're required to do, through our city councils, we're required to identify all potential capital projects, whether it be this fiscal year that we just started, or in any future fiscal years. So we actually presented those to our city council as capital expenditure items that we would need in the next several years, in the next 3 to 5 years. So hopefully we don't need to replace things sooner than later, but at least we do have capacity on our capital side to be able to make those changes. If something were to happen and something was to become unoperable, we could make those quick fixes and keep everybody on the road. Okay, I think that's all that we have to share, actually, real quick. What we didn't want to do is we didn't want just, letters go back and forth. We really appreciate the time just to kind of go over with you what our thoughts are, what we're currently working on, and also our interest in having the opportunity to refresh some of the language in this agreement that is about 13 years old. So it is a really good opportunity, I think, for us to get together and just share some of those ideas with you.
Go through the specific languages again, because you just kind of breezed over this page, and so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, certainly. So what we had in our cover letter is the section operations and maintenance of the fuel facility. And so that is on page 5. So these items here, items 4.1 all the way through, 5, there's things in here that we want to update, particularly when it comes
that's-
to,
You
Sorry.
talked about the 6 cents, but you
Yes.
skipped right over those. That's what I'm interested in.
Correct.
Things.
yeah. What we want to do is we want to, complete the analysis that we have in the 6 cents, and then also provide the analysis to the county, just supporting any changes to any of these, items here.
Which ones do you think are outdated?
The ones that we probably think are outdated would be, probably number 2, employing and supervising all personnel necessary. That we might want to refresh that. Item number 3, I'm sorry,
Refresh it how?
just refresh the language, employing and supervising all personnel necessary to operate the fields on a daily basis as determined by the city. I think we probably want to update some of the titles, like for example, Stan's title, that it's very clear on who is operating the facility on the city side and who the contact person would be for operations. And if I go to item number 3, provide minor repairs of equipment. That one we wanted to talk a little bit about, because that one relates to section 4, the other page that I pointed out, the 5.2 of the $5,000. We wanted to talk a little bit about perhaps refreshing that language there and also addressing the limit of anything over $5,000, because as Stan mentioned, we're looking at a significant.
Refreshing it how?
To update it to reflect what we believe will be the cost of maintaining the facility.
Which you don't
Which-
have, yeah.
Which we
You're
don't have it.
waiting To get
Yeah,
your analysis
We're
done.
getting our analysis done, yeah,
The 5,000, I can understand adjusting that.
sure, that would be terrific if we,
Number 3.
Yeah.
Is more of a logistical.
Yeah.
Administrative, how are you looking at changing that?
probably just with any updates, that we receive on the analysis, if there's something that we've identified in the analysis that we think, oh, wow, we probably need to add something, or perhaps clarify an item in section 3, that's really all. I don't think it'll change materially, but it will be very helpful perhaps to provide some clarification language for the operations of the facility, particularly when it comes to our superintendent side, making sure that we're in compliance with all the terms of the agreement. Okay, can I go to the next one?
Mhm.
Okay, item number 6, accounting and bookkeeping services. That is related to the 6 cents that we believe that there's additional costs associated with the accounting and the bookkeeping services, the administrative support of maintaining the accounting of the actual fuel side of the facility. And that is where, and it's particularly when it caught the cost of the processing and payment invoices, we get weekly bids on fuel, things of that nature. Probably that will be related to the 6 cents discussion. Looking at perhaps an additional cost associated with it instead of 6 cents. Is it going to be like 8 cents, 10 cents, that type of thing? But again, that's related to that particular section, because the costs, what we've been able to determine preliminarily is that the cost of the accounting and bookkeeping has gone up over the last 13 years with our staffing, so.
Let's, how's the number of gallons gone up over the years? Do you have, like,
So it has varied. I don't have those numbers with me.
because I'd like to see how many gallons,
Okay.
you know, because there's a natural inflationary increase.
Sure.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
as we grow, they're
Okay.
obviously.
Millions and millions of gallons, like you say, you know, there's
Mhm.
pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good cost to that. How much is, you know, because we need to look at it by our department who's using it
Sure.
and find out what the costs are. It's the
Okay.
way we pay is, the sheriff is billed for his, road bridge is billed for theirs. The pool cars are billed for theirs. But, you know, if we were doing 1 million gallons a year, and now we're doing 2 million gallons a year, because all the fleets have gone bigger. I'd be curious to see how that factors in.
Absolutely. Can do
And
that.
I believe that is part of our study that's going on right
Yeah.
now with accounting, so
Analysis.
they'll have those numbers for us.
And then everything else probably remain the same, and then, as I mentioned earlier, 4.2, the 6 cents per gallon. And it's just doing an analysis on the services that we're utilizing and the cost utilizing to maintain the actual items of tracking the fuel and going through the weekly bids for fuel prices. I mean, I think we've done a really great job. Staff has done a really great job by doing those weekly fuel bids. We're getting really good prices versus, if you recall, a few years ago, we actually would do an annual contract that had some elements into it where the vendor could increase or decrease. But what we found, and actually it's to the credit of our now retired general services administrator, of going through weekly fuel bids, and that's really has helped us save costs. So then the 4.2, the 6 cents per gallon, and then if I can go to page 7, just item number 5.2, just with Commissioner Christensen, you mentioned that of the $5,000, and just looking at having that discussion of perhaps increasing that threshold, just with the cost of what we're finding. We're finding that just on our repairs, not related to fuel, but just on our repairs, we're seeing what is like a 5 to 7 increase on parts and things of that nature. So again, we all know that fuel costs have gone up, but we also know that the costs of hiring and maintaining staff have gone up as well. So insurance costs, things like that.
Yes, there's that. And in addition, as our equipment ages, it's becoming more and more difficult to find parts for them. The parts that we do find are more costly because they're becoming scarce. That was really one of the things that contributed to, us getting bids to just have new dispensers installed. It's the old ones are getting just expensive to maintain. Simply.
Or having to MacGyver.
Yeah,
Putting MacGyver on it. We've done a little bit of that too. So with that was the only thing we've brought forward. Did I miss anything, Stan, that you might want to mention? But I think that's just having, not asking for any action, just having a conversation versus just having these, either letters or emails going back and forth, just kind of showing you a little bit where we're at. Again, we're hoping to finalize our analysis within the next month or two. Right now we've started our external audit, so we're having a lot of our accountants are busy going through their tasks, getting ready for our external audit. But what we'd like to be able to do is, once we get the analysis completed, and then also work with our assistant city attorney on developing some proposal language to bring forward to you, we would just provide that, and we could have a follow-up conversation. If that's okay.
Great.
Okay, terrific.
Okay.
I don't have anything else, but thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you meeting with us and working around our schedule. So thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Dennis,
Hi, good morning.
what brings you to see us?
I just wanted to run something by you guys in regards to that Red Rock subdivision and the crosswalks.
This was the old school piece.
Yep.
The old church
the
piece.
church- Yes, the church piece. Yep. I'm not as well put together as them, so this would be this is my rendition. But I just wanna,
You can come up here if you want, Wade.
so you can visually
I
see.
remember, one thing we had talked about in that was you were going to approve upgrades to school crossing.
Yeah, so this is,
Widen 2 bridges, right?
yeah, you would, there's my last one. If you guys want to. I knew that would come out somewhere. So this is just a proposal I sent to Lance. I sent to Austin, and it was just an idea. So really, we're just trying to get it before you guys, just because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So the idea was, on that first page, I have, okay, so that's within the subdivision. Very simple, coming like out of our neighborhood, we'll have a sidewalk leading to here, and then we'll do a crosswalk, and we'll put a flag, like one of the orange flags, to get them across and kind of navigate them to the right spots. And that will look like this is what Idaho traffic safety worked out for me, just to kind of represent what those crosswalks would look like. With the orange flags. So really, we're trying to navigate the kids to go a certain way. And to use the same path instead of having two on each side of goldenrod. We're trying to get them to one side of goldenrod. And then the idea is to, if you go to the last page, is to then take that sidewalk that ends right at the landscape beds on each side. And we'll take that sidewalk and bring it all the way to the intersection. And then kind of have just a little platform for them. And then that's where those two red circles are where the current crosswalk flashing light are. So when I went over there, that was one of the concerns. I did go over after it had kind of rained a few days before that, but it was a few days before, and it is just a muddy mess right there. And so I was just thinking, and I think I don't know, somebody was telling me that they've seen kids, instead of going through the mud because they don't want to go through the mud, then it pushes them onto the road, and so then they're walking on the road, and then they just stay on the road, right, instead of going back to the sidewalk and up the road. So this was just my thought, is if we could keep that sidewalk going so they had somewhere to walk, it would keep them out of the road. And so I thought that would increase, you know, that safety there. And then obviously having the crosswalk up here to make sure we're navigating them to this spot, and then everyone crossing here, which I think is going to happen because I think there usually is a lady that will walk them across right here as well. Most of the time, not all the time, but she's typically there.
Is she from the school?
I think the
Yeah,
school district.
and the
yeah.
school months, there's always somebody
In
stationed.
the school months, yeah.
At that crosswalk in
Yeah.
the mornings and the afternoon.
Yeah. So then once they get there, I think the goal is to not get them to come to the other side and to be using different spots. We talked about maybe doing signals up the road to like warn people that this was coming, but Idaho Traffic Safety and John both said, we don't want them to think they should cross there. We want them to come to a certain spot. So like, just because they're children, they might think like, oh, there's a flashing light here, I'm safe to go across. So either way, I thought that maybe this would take away from that.
Crosswalk warning signs on the sunny side. Okay, Chris, maybe come up to where the real.
Yeah,
crosswalk
they're-
Yeah,
signs back.
yeah, there is, and I was actually
I
driving.
think the elementary school kids are stupider than high school kids.
No, they're actually smarter now. I was gonna say, high school kids will go across
They
wherever.
cross anyway.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, they see blinking light, yeah, so, I mean, that was the first idea I had, and then I kind of came down to this, once I went there, I came down to this because if I was a kid too, and it's muddy or, you know, springtime, there's no way most of them have boots to walk through. Now you're gonna get a few that walk through it because kids, right, but, and it's fun, but this I would hope would keep them on a sidewalk path instead of kind of walking in the road.
So
So,
gray would be new sidewalks.
yeah, Grace new sidewalk, and that's why I'm saying this was me trying to do my best on,
And you did an excellent job.
hey, Microsoft Word, that's, you know, using the little clip art, you know?
You did great. Is it possible to get that in before this winter?
I talked to Clint, our construction guy, and he said if you really needed us to, we could. But, and we could, yeah, I think we could probably pull someone over there. Before the spring hits, yeah.
And the reason he came in, because part of our
Oh, yeah.
rezone conditions on that piece
Yeah,
required basically that he
And-
present a plan that improved the crosswalk in some instance at that intersection.
Yeah, sorry, I
So,
forgot to explain that
yeah,
part.
so he sent this to me and Lance and I both looked at it and felt like it was a good improvement to the intersection, and we just wanted to make sure that the board felt the same way, so.
I
Yeah.
thought you just missed us.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. It's been a little while.
It has.
We'll be seeing more of you here soon, but.
That's a warning.
No warning.
I think it looks really good. I do too. Yeah.
I'm sure the neighborhoods will appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it would be a good one.
I know everybody's scrambling before the frost gets in the ground.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I
It
don't,
would be nice, you know, if you,
before, Yeah.
before it gets muddy. this
Yeah.
year.
and that's one thing I asked him in our meeting last week. I said, if they want us to do it this year, can you? And he said, you're gonna have to, we'll have to move some things around, but let's talk, so. But I mean, it wouldn't take too long to go prep that and get it poured, so it wouldn't be terrible.
They ordered sidewalks, that's why I was just curious.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know, I did see a few of these. When I was driving on 45th, I noticed that either the city or the county. Had, like, the sidewalk would end and then they did asphalt. From the end of the sidewalk to the road. I don't know, I'd prefer a sidewalk,
tear it
but
up.
what was that?
If it's temporary, it's cheaper to tear.
It's
out.
probably just, it's
Yeah.
probably just saying, hey, this is temporary. I did see a couple of them, and I don't know who did them or. A couple neighborhoods.
Was it part of the 45th project
No, it was, the one I saw was down further.
where?
Is it by 21st?
Yeah,
So that whole walking path on 21st is asphalt.
yeah, so that would,
That's
that would
probably
make
why they
sense,
did that.
yeah,
I don't know if asphalt. It's less expensive and easier to put in, isn't it?
it's quicker, yeah, for sure.
It's The,
'Cause it-
the argument for that is, you know, we've got that in the queue to try to get Iona wide,
yeah, that's true.
and so we could go to.
I don't mind doing either one. And maybe we take. Cosmetically, maybe we take the sidewalk to a point and then do asphalt. I don't know, I want it to flow with what, yeah, cause it will get torn out. So, yeah, I'm up to a suggestion if concrete or asphalt.
So is this the correct orientation?
Yeah, so
Trail
here's,
road,
here's
yeah.
that red rock parcel right here,
Right,
and then Iona right there, yeah.
so. You're crossing them on Iona on.
So we're
the
trying to-
east Side,
We'll get them to, so any kids coming from this direction, we hope to push them to here, and then here, and then across.
that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
It's like, if we're on this side, then they have to cross again for the school.
And
so-
it's impossible to cross on the other side.
Yeah.
People don't cross.
They
there.
don't cross, that was one question we had is,
I've,
our kids.
I've never seen a kids crossing there in my way to work in the morning. They all stand on the other side and wait at the
Right.
crosswalk,
Well, so the lady meets them, right?
Yeah, that's true, and the lady meets them, and if we can make it nice on
So
that
they,
side,
school has somebody standing on the Red Rock subdivision side directing people to go
Alright,
to
I
that
just-
side.
to that
so-
side,
When I was
okay.
looking at The other picture wasn't,
yeah.
I was looking for the little north thing and. you know.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Next time we'll have a
Really,
compass
you
on the
didn't break it out, but
next.
there's just- You're right, working in Microsoft is not, so.
Yeah,
I think asphalt accomplishes the same thing,
do too.
whichever's
that's
easier.
true,
Cause you
That's
can
where
get
you
It's
that
gonna get changed in
exactly,
2 years, so.
that, you could get it in easier now.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all. 'Cause it, you know, it's gonna get muddy here pretty quick.
it is.
And then what about, I mean, are we striping that crosswalk again?
Yeah, I think I was just planning on having, I just got a bid from ITD or ITS to crosswalk this. Yeah, these two, crosswalk those two, and then this is already crosswalk.
Does it need
I think.
restriped? Do you know? Is it?
On Iona?
I can't think right now if it was fading
Can't think
or
right
not.
now either.
I guess I didn't look at how bold it was right now,
By this picture, I don't know when that picture was, but that looks pretty light.
yeah.
So we might want to
Look
restripe
at
that
yeah,
too.
if we're striping
Why they're
those.
doing those,
Yeah.
just probably plan on doing that.
Yeah, 'cause I think it would buy you a lot of goodwill with neighbors out.
Yeah, I wanna make, yeah, cause that was,
Just to have it happen quick.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, well, if you guys are okay with that, we'll keep moving forward. And, yeah. Hopefully we were trying to break ground on that project this fall. I don't know if it will happen, so it might just be in the spring that we break ground on the actual.
And that
Red Rock.
feels cleaned up, no more BMX racetrack out there.
We haven't done anything, so
All the
there's no more
neighbors
BMX.
Cleaned up there. stuff.
Oh, really? They're like, oh, we better get.
Yeah,
That's funny.
And
yeah.
they're probably causing us to having to split Austin.
Yeah, we need another-
Twice a year.
We need
Oh,
another,
shoot.
we need another church there now.
Oh,
Can you,
shoot, now you need
can you
to
sell it back?
sell Well, I can sell back to the church.
That's all been finished out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, oh, shoot, we probably should have kept that one. It was random that they sold that one and the Bridgewater one at the same time.
It was random.
Very random. They don't do that.
I think the focus is on trying to build the buildings up
Yeah,
for awards.
for awards, yeah.
Which we'll have here in about a month.
Unless you come to
You'll
Swan
get-
Valley,
Well,
we have
the
one.
state center's a 4, your building's a 4,
Yeah,
and
we're
then
4.
the Summit Park building will become a 4, so it'll be, our state will
Fours.
be full.
Yeah, I guess we could go to Swan
So-
Valley. I wouldn't mind driving out to Swan Valley. Every
It's a
Sunday.
lovely place.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It'd almost be as quick as trying to get down.
That's
Full
the-
yeah, I was gonna say, for a little while
Photo.
when we had 49th shut down to tie in the sewer for that one subdivision, and then the intersection of Iona was shut down. Doing that roundabout, it was to get my kids to school, it was going here, going through there, then back over here. And then we'll take them, so it was eventful.
Well, it was more challenging because I used the intersection of Woodruff 17th a lot.
Oh, yeah, if you do, yeah, okay, so I won't complain, because that one was terrible. Yeah.
And then you take 17th to the west of that. And, I mean,
Oh, yeah, I got trapped in
but
there.
it's nice now that it's all
Yeah.
fixed and running.
I thought I knew my city a little better. I was like, oh, I can just go around this. Yeah, there's a couple spots I couldn't get around.
I don't.
Yeah, I thought I knew. I thought I
There's a
knew.
guy to talk to.
They did a good job of cutting us off. Okay, well, yeah, really, that was it. I just told Austin, I was like, I'd rather take it to that meeting, make sure everyone's on board before I go do something, and but Lance sounded like he was good.
Yeah, Lance was
And
good
you
with
kind of
it.
said the same thing, so,
Yeah, especially if we can expedite it.
yeah.
I'll be checking on you next week.
Yeah,
see
no
if you made any
The pressure's on.
progress.
Pressure's on.
Well,
Thank
they're
you.
they're gonna be done all the way through Iona by next week. With the roundabout. and
Oh, are
everything.
they?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
it all should be opened up again.
Open.
They're
Oh.
hoping.
I was looking at David's reaction.
Yeah, but it's gotta be above 40 degrees and rising, and it's supposed to be that for
was just-
3 or 4
they were-
days.
2 degrees here.
Are they ready to asphalt from Iona to Lincoln? It's,
They've
From
already
the
got one.
tracks to
Yeah.
Iona, they're working on placing the 3/4 road base
oh, gotcha.
as of yesterday, so
That's awesome.
they're planning on paving that next week, I believe.
That's awesome.
And next week it's a little more
I,
iffy.
I know I've actually banked on this project, keeping asphalt plants open for me.
Uh,
Cause I have a project that's supposed to asphalt next week and I'm like, as long as the county's still needing
Well, but I.
the
noticed
asphalt, they'll stay open.
One by Home Depot, they're still trying to get their asphalt.
Oh, they're gonna try and get their asphalt too.
They're working on it now, so I'm guessing they're gonna keep that as long as they could.
Yeah, so that'll keep the asphalt plants open. That's what I'm hoping for
That's
too.
good
So
for
yeah,
you.
drag your feet. You want 3, 4 more days?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just drag those feet.
If they drag it too long, though, it's gonna be 3 or 4 more months.
That's true. Okay, so
Right on
and you
that.
gotta time it just perfect, you know? Well, thank you. I won't take any more of your time, but thank you guys.
Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah, appreciate
Good
it.
to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, man.
Yep, see ya.
Thank you.
What else we got?
Just, I don't know, for some information, Road and Bridge and Solid Waste used about 21,000 gallons of fuel in August.
In August.
Yeah, it's about 6 cents per gallon. I think it was around $1,250 per month, so. I don't know. if
Is there
that's
still a live rail spur out there on the backyard?
Well,
I don't know.
kind of, now that you're familiar.
I don't
with
think
what's
so.
coming, because we're gonna wanna analyze it on our side, decide whether we exercise us taking over management. You know, as if they go to 10 cents a gallon. Might be a little more interesting to do that.
If we took over management, would that be through Public Works?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, exactly.
I think it's planning. and
I'm
zoning,
being
I think.
serious.
That's all mine.
Just the operation there would be the county that we're talking about,
Would be
would be
Here.
upstairs,
Yeah,
which we're set up a lot better to do that. You know,
And I don't know what, they've already got all the software, hardware, unless they totally change things, I guess.
Do we have any
We should
idea
have-
what it
Yes,
costs
we'll
them
have
to
ownership in all of
That's
that
what they're
according to
gonna-
this.
maintain just the fuel facility?
well, I'm hoping that's what we're gonna see in
Yeah.
the analysis that Pamela's talking about. And after 10, 13 years, maybe it should change to the other entity to take management.
that's what we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on what their demands are.
Well, did we ever get an answer as to whether or not we've seen any invoices for anything except fuel?
Not that I know.
We're supposed to,
That's-
says we're supposed to get
I think we
invoices
have.
for,
Yeah,
Talking to Dustin.
invoice for half any of the repairs that are made. Do they haven't repaired anything or they didn't invoices?
David, where did you get that fuel number of what road and bridge and landfill was used?
We
Was that
were-
in Munis somewhere? Cause I went upstairs and asked Lisa for it, and she couldn't give it to me.
That, I don't know, Greer had them,
it'd be on the
they're just
invoice,
reports for
because,
what each vehicle's used. I think
look
it's
at
gotta
that
come
just
from
a
the
second.
city of Idaho Falls, but I don't know where. they
Okay,
get sent
and that's
to.
what Pam or Lisa told me is I would need to go to the city.
Yeah,
and
it
get
looks
that.
like they're running them out of the city system because all that we get is just the total amounts every month by
That's-
department,
That's what it is.
what we need to pay.
And we don't get a complete report for how much fuel is
Yeah.
delivered and how much is.
You can get one,
Yeah, this one's
but-
split up by vehicle.
Yeah, but I mean,
but we don't
the
know.
overall report for the facility. We don't have those.
No, we've never been provided that procedure. You know, because the other question is that the agreement was to keep it half full and then top it off all the time, so you had that emergency reserve. We'll be asking them questions on that, if we managed it that way.
Well, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean, if you look at 4.3 in this agreement. They're saying, well, we'd like to change the 6 cents. Well, there's a way to do that without modifying the agreement in 4.3 already. So any year they can come to us and say, basically, we need to raise this because of XYZ in the management plan, which they've never done. But that's why it'll be interesting to see what they,
Language that.
yeah, cause I don't know that there's a need for language change necessarily, because it's already built in there.
Well,
You put together a pretty good agreement.
well, the-
You got him
I was trying to give you a
speechless.
I was just gonna correct.
Well
for
done.
section 2, they sent the letter, instead of going back and forth with letters.
Yeah,
Reached out, and asked them to come meet with us to explain it.
well, that was nice too.
And it
That
instead
was
of-
4
instead of
letters
being
worth of
back
exchange.
there,
Yeah.
They didn't request the meeting. You're hearing too much.
It's
not my
department.
No, I mean, it's just, I mean,
Well, we like you here.
straight up with all, but, if you wanna renegotiate, don't nibble around the edges. There's things, don't do it backdoor, yes, it's for your edification also. Let's just talk about the issues and find out what they are, instead of playing this cat and mouse thing for weeks. I mean, if it's cost, show me where the costs are, why they're so high, and then we'll evaluate whether we can take our turn and do it or not.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, it just would be curious to know, because basically, yeah, you've got the maintenance of the pumps, cost of the fuel, keeping the site clean, somebody to oversee that. But, I mean, we're paying for the fuel
Yeah,
plus the 6 cents when we go fill up,
The
so,
only problem is if they have not been billing us for the
Yeah, and
repairs.
Bugs
Right.
have
then
only
that-
replaced
we
some
need
of
to
those
be paying
pumps
for that.
5-6 years ago.
I don't think so. They all look the same.
but that's not an argument to redo the whole agreement.
No, it's
If they're not fixed
billing
billing,
system.
Yeah.
granted, you gotta clean it up, we'll pay our share. As
So-
long as it's fair.
What can we do for your department, Wade?
Well,
On a lighter subject.
yeah. Yeah, sorry, that comes out of finance, that billing issue, it sounds like, but. No, I feel like very well supported by you guys in Austin and I'm sorry, I don't have much more on the area of impact. The mayor was out, she was in Austria for 2 weeks on some national atomic cities conference, so I haven't gotten that official. I just need her signature and then I'll get you those responses back, but we talked about, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago when I was gone.
Yeah, we talked about those, so hoping to have those official responses to you and then we can meet internally or figure out something from there. Start getting something rolling on that again, so. I haven't given up on it, so, yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, 'cause we'll have practice this afternoon. We're going to hear finalize Ammon's area of impact. We put those off thinking Idaho Falls could be accomplished within a year and then we would model the others
Yeah.
out of it, but that was 4 or 5 years ago, so.
Yeah, and
it's just
I'm actually
not-
modeling mine off of that, my agreement, so, yeah.
That's good.
And that's what we'd encourage you to do, because that was the process with the planning commissions. Working through some of those, we didn't get everything we wanted, but, if we were here, it kind of moved us a year, and Ammon came to there. And Iona, so I mean, it's a pretty good compromise. And I'd like to see a model as much after that, because there's a lot of hard work went in with the other planning commissions. Which is what the process is designed to be by statute.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't hear too on the meat packing plan. I know you had reached out to some of your staff to connect with ours. I hadn't heard anything on the public works side on our end. I was just curious. if you
Hearing,
had heard
I
anything.
guess there's lack of communication between Lance and Blair. You guys needed some type of what was it, a site plan or?
Yeah, and I'm working on that.
Okay, yeah. That was a requirement for you to take for the tires.
Yeah.
That's here.
Yeah, so on the tire side, we did connect. I had one of my staff, Kerry Butler, he connected with Lance on that project as
Yeah,
well.
and that's what they're doing now is drawing. What is it, approval drawing or?
It's
Just
just
a
a site
site
plan.
plan.
is it site plan?
Yes.
And it was to be pretty rudimentary, if I remember right, just so
Yeah.
that I didn't want it to be a major fiasco for you guys, so.
This
No.
is for Intermountain tracking.
No,
This
Uh,
was,
yeah.
We're
We're talking-
we jumped from the tires to the.
Yeah,
the
so we're talking
tires.
about the tire
I
side.
was in the
Jump-
meat plant still.
Yeah.
oh, okay, what are?
Storing
what-
tires
Oh,
there.
I remember on the meatpacking plant, we had talked about, because they were doing the sealant for the pipe to eliminate some of the smells from that. Sorry, I was jumping between the
Oh,
two.
that was,
And I
that was
remember,
not us, that was, Urson. I
okay,
was supposed to reach out.
yeah, and I hadn't heard anything. I didn't know if you had heard
We're
anything on.
looking into that, but
I can
still
follow up
smell
with
it when
Chris
I
on that. if
drive
they've
into
reached
work.
out.
I think Scott Berry was gonna reach out to his counterpart in the sewer department. Cause
That's right.
we, at the time, were having odor issues. The trouble is when you seal those off, apparently the odor issues were.
Pushed out to the river.
Well,
Pushed it
yeah,
downstream.
they were
Yeah.
down around the Anderson intersection. So if they seal those off, it pushes the odor down to the next one. We had that out of Lazy Eight. Because the line went through, they sealed them off. But that doesn't eliminate the odor. They're looking at a scrubber right
Yep.
now, which is about $500,000 to $750,000.
Okay,
But what they did is just seal those off and pushed them to a manhole. In the field where nobody was around, they couldn't smell it.
yeah,
I don't think you guys have that option.
yeah. And I hadn't heard anything from Chris to update you on, so I can follow up with them, see what that
Yeah.
connection was. Yeah, so switching gears on the tire issue, that was just the direction I gave to my staff, was just make it as painless, I guess, as possible on the county. And we didn't see an issue with any storage or anything. So,
Yeah, and all we're trying to do is check off the boxes on that CAS agreement,
yeah, no problem.
you know. If you have too many left open, they use that as an opportunity to get in and ask for a lot more.
In regards to Intermountain Meat Packers, I hope we're really close to getting that agreement. Do you know anything about that, David?
I know it's been back and forth between Weston and Lance. I don't know the status of it.
I couldn't get all the Weston this morning.
Yeah, because, we agreed on the fees last week, so that should have been the last piece in that. I was contacted by Paul Greenwood yesterday. And saying, why is this taking months? And frankly, kind of agree with him.
So do I. Especially when he says they're
I know.
allowing others to dump.
Yeah,
I know Lance last week made some revisions, sent him back to Weston. I don't think he's heard back from Weston yet,
okay.
that I've heard. So.
Weston must be clammed because I emailed Weston yesterday. I haven't heard back.
I know he
And
did
that's
have
unusual.
another case coming this week. He told me that last week when he was in my office, so. But,
Yeah, he must be real under the water.
yeah,
Firms are in short supply.
in today's world.
Yeah.
I guess, so just a little update on that Highway 26, county owned parcel. Ellsworth has started the survey on that, I guess, so.
Good.
It's moving forward.
And all the neighbors understand it now.
Yeah, they understood that, the amount the county would pay towards that survey and, sounds like there may be one of them that still isn't gonna pay his portion or can't. Sounded like maybe the neighbors will get together and pay it for him, just get
Is
it
it going
cleaned up.
to or can't?
What's that?
Is it going to or can't?
Can't.
Okay. Because if it was isn't going to, it's probably that granddaughter or niece. What's her name?
No, it's the guy furthest east, Bolander, I think was his name. Anyway, that's all I had other than 45th saying I think they shut down the Lincoln roundabout today to pave the second lift. And then they've got a short stretch of from there to the tracks to finish on the second lift and the approaches.
What part is gravel from the railroad?
Yeah, from the railroad to Iona.
Okay, I thought
They just
had
took
one
the-
left in there.
They just took the blankets off the curb yesterday and we're starting to place the road base.
Kirk looked really good.
That is gonna be by next week.
Yeah, as far as concrete goes, I think we've got some decorative curbing to do and when they're done with that for the year, they'll have to cover everything for a week, so. Get closer. Actually made it quite a ways this year.
I was surprised when they thought they could go all the way and do the roundabout.
The roundabout's nice. It does a good job moving the traffic through there.
On Iona, if you keep
Weekends.
people to quit running through it.
Have they been?
Somebody was coming, I think. From the west, and you see skid marks. Broken through the forms, through the middle, broke the other
I'll
side
have
of
to
the
pay
forms.
attention to that. I didn't see.
And then apparently they had a shovel with them, they had to use some of the road base to build themselves a ramp to back out. So,
Must have been at night or something
Yeah.
and they didn't.
yeah.
Hmm.
Find out who it was.
No. It was Saturday night, I think. So the
Sounds
bigger
like I better
happened.
go put my trail cam out there to get some good
Yeah.
YouTube footage.
Hey, what you have anything else?
No, I don't. Anything I can help you with, commissioners, or?
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, carried his contact information with me.
Oh,
You have a checklist on your site plan about this long on, a lot of it doesn't apply, I don't think.
Sure,
I
yeah.
wanna make sure
Yeah, that's fine.
before I submit it, like say,
Uh,
oh, you need X, Y, and Z.
yeah, no, that's
We
understood.
never tell Kayla when we're done, so
I gotta look
she
at
sits
my
there for.
list.
Mhm.
We need